Okay, today we're going to do something out of the Carmine's book. Yeah, I love Carmine's. And I've been making lentils all my life, but we're going to make Carmine's lentils. All right, and let me put this down for a second. So it involves, actually, it's a delicious dish. It's not healthy. It involves sausage meat, bacon, and pancetta. And then, of course, tomatoes, carrots, celery, onion, potato, some garlic, a little parsley, some thyme and oregano, and the lentils, and some chicken stock. A little olive oil, a little butter. So you see there's a lot of added fats that, are going to counteract the goodness of what the lentils are supposed to do for you. But this is the most delicious lentil dish I've ever had. So, sometimes you got to go with delicious and forego health. Sometimes, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So anyhow, I'm going to get all this prepped. And of course, it only has like 2 slices of bacon. It only has 2 ounces of pancetta. It only has like 5 ounces of sausage meat. So it's not like it's like a lot of that fat in there. But it's enough where if you were on a restrictive diet, you probably couldn't eat this. But it's fantastic. All right, I'm going to start getting all this prepped, and I'm going to show you at different stages. And this is page, I can't read that number. Hold on, let me get my glasses on. Page 53 of the Carmine's book, the rustic lentil soup. Oh man, wait till you see this. Okay, so we're getting down to stages here. So I'm going to take a tablespoon of butter and a couple of tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm going to saute this 6 ounces of sausage, these 2 strips of bacon, and this 2 ounces of pancetta. Okay, and then when that's browned, I'm going to add in my onions and carrots and celery and my garlic, which is right here. And I'm going to saute that and get that all soft. After that's done, I'm going to add in my stock. Now it calls for about 5 or 6 cups. This is only 4 cups, but I'll add water because it doesn't really need. And then here's my potato already peeled. And I think we are ready to get rocking and rolling. And the parsley, even though it's not in the recipe, it's in the picture, I'm going to add that at the end just for color. So I think we're ready to get moving on this. I'm going to move the camera over to where the pot is. See if I can get that camera angled inside. I didn't dice my tomatoes yet because they don't go in until a little bit later. And, by the way, so this is, it calls for fresh thyme. I didn't have it. I used dried thyme. It's a half a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of salt, and some fresh black pepper. Those are my spices. That's it. So let's get moving. All right, so you see I've got my butter in the bottom of the pot here. I'm going to throw in a little bit of olive oil and turn that burner on. And I got the right one, which is cool. And when that butter melts, I'm going to throw in my bacon, pancetta, and sausage. And then I'm going to get that browned. All right, here we go. So this is my pancetta. I'm going to lower that flame. And this is my bacon. It's just 2 slices of bacon that I've sliced up. And this is my sausage. Notice it's not in the case. I bought the sausage meat that's out of the case. I could have just unwrapped two links of sausage. I could have done that too. But, I saw it on the grocery shelf and it seemed like it made sense. This way I could just measure it out and then I get the exact amount that I wanted. All right, so we're just going to let that simmer a little bit. We're going to get that browned, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so you see how we're progressing here. It's not nearly ready yet, but you see how we're starting to cook that meat. But I'm not going to put anything else in here until it's all browned. I'm just chopping up that sausage meat, so there's not a lot of big chunks. It's okay to have a couple of chunks. It's nice in the soup. I want everything to be, pretty much evenly distributed. That looks good. Okay, we're just going to let that rock and roll. already. So there's two things I want to mention. Well, no. So one is, the recipe says to do the sausage later. I did it all in one shot in the beginning because I don't think it matters. Here's the garlic going in now because everything is nicely browned. And then the other thing I omitted was I forgot that there were bay leaves in the spice mixture. So there are 2 bay leaves. And that'll be on the website in the recipe anyhow. But I just wanted to mention it. So that garlic smells great. Oh my God, that smells so good. And in another minute, I'm going to add the carrots, onions, and celery. And usually I add the garlic later, but this recipe calls for the garlic now, I guess because they want it a little bit browned before we add the other ingredients. The reason why I always add the garlic later is because if it's cut smaller, I know it's going to cook faster and I don't want anything to burn. So I think that's it. I think it's time for the rest of the ingredients. Here we go. Carrots, celery, onions. And I'm just going to cook that until it's soft. And once it softens, we're going to add the stock, the lentils, the tomatoes, and the herbs and spices. So let's just let that soften. I don't know, for a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes. I'm not going to video for 10 minutes. I'm going to shut the video off, lower that flame, and show you what it looks like when it's soft. Okay, it is time. It is time. It is time to add those lentils. Okay, and my herbs and spices. That's the salt, thyme, oregano, pepper, and bay leaves. Okay. Okay, and now tomatoes, and let me go get that stock. I like using these Kitchen Basics unsalted stock because I don't want any surprises. I can control the salt if I'm not using any products that already have salt. I add my own salt when I need it. Works out better that way. This is just 4 cups. The recipe calls for 5 or 6 cups. I might add a little water. Let's see. Let's see if I need it. I might not need it. Now remember, those lentils are going to expand. When they cook, they're going to absorb some of the water. So I might need to add a little water. So now what I'm going to do, oh my God, that smells so good. I'm going to cover that and let it simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. Let those lentils soften. And then I'm going to add the potatoes and let them cook for an additional 15-20 minutes. Okay, so as you see, I pushed it to the back burner. And the flame's on medium right now just to get it to the boil. And then I'm going to lower it and let it simmer. And, you know, like I said, these lentils are freaking awesome. Okay, and there it is. The rustic lentil soup. See, the potatoes are done. You see little bits of bacon and pancetta in there, little parsley garnish, and that's the dish.